Hey guys, and welcome to this month's leadership video or podcast, however you want to look at it. But it's just good to be with you guys. And as always, first and foremost, if you want more information about what I do in regards to small business leadership and coaching, business coaching, go to my website, ericjchristian.com, or you can hop over to Instagram and Twitter. My username is the same, Coach_EJC. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and your month was a good month. But today I want us to look at something that I think that all of us either have struggled or we will struggle with at some point in our life, and that is stress and worry. I think all too often we worry, we get anxious, we get nervous, we stress out about things that normally 80% of the time, as research has shown, does not come to fruition. It does not happen. And remember, we have up to 45,000 thoughts a day. So if we are worrying 80% of those 45,000 thoughts, we're stressing out, we're worrying, we're getting anxious, we're getting nervous, then we may be a depressed or just a sad generation and people. And so I want to come alongside us and see if we can find ways to lessen those negative thoughts that we have, to lessen the amount of stress and worry that we have. Because what happens if we start having those stressful, worrisome thoughts? We're misusing our thought process. We're misusing our thinking. It's taking up space that it doesn't need to be taking up. It's taking up space that can be used, fulfilled with more positive thoughts, more positive thinking. And I think all too often what happens is we come into our daily thought process with some baggage. We come in just kind of like in a relationship. We step into a relationship with some kind of baggage. We got some junk in the trunk, per se. And I think if we can look at these four things that sometimes we step into our thought process with, and see if we can alter that, we can change that just a little bit, change the perspective, then I think we will lessen the amount of stress and worry that we have. And the first baggage that I think we often struggle with is insecurity. Insecurity. And this is where we don't feel like we are good enough. We say the phrase, or we hear the phrase ourselves, "You're not good enough." We speak it over ourselves. We say, "I'm not good enough." You may be looking to get a new job, or looking to change different positions in the company maybe, and you're saying to yourself, "I'm not good enough. I don't have the right skills," or maybe I don't have the right education. I don't have enough education. I don't have any education. I didn't go to college. And so we start saying the phrase to ourselves, "I'm not good enough," and it breeds this insecurity. And so I want to just speak some words of life over you and in you. You're good enough. You may be looking at this and watching this and say, "But Eric, I don't have the degrees on the wall, or I don't have all of this stuff behind me, the names, the credibility behind me." It doesn't matter. Because if God has called you to do a specific purpose, a specific assignment, then you're going to go do it. You are good enough. Now, I'm all about growing, learning, getting more education, and trying to better ourselves. Please don't misunderstand me. But don't look at yourself and say, "I'm not good enough." You are. And keep getting better. And so I just want to challenge myself and all of us that if we feel insecure, that is the enemy speaking lies over us, whispering lies into us, and it's not true. The second thing, and I have to raise my hand on this one, that we may have a little bit of baggage, a little struggle with, and that's perfectionism. It's that the struggle where we feel, we have to do it right. It has to be right. And so oftentimes we start worrying about, well, is this going to be perfect? Is that perfect? Is this task I'm about to do, I got to make it perfect, perfect, perfect. And we start worrying, we start stressing out. And so what happens? We start going up and up and up, and we explode. We go off on someone, we go a little cray-cray, we go off the rails. Why? Because we're so focused on trying to be perfect, that perfectionism. And I just want to say that if we can take our expectations, if this is our expectations and this is reality, if we can lower those expectations and get more close to reality, lessen that gap, and that's going to take off some pressure, that's going to take out some worry, take away a little bit of stress. So I just want to say, maybe you're watching this and you're saying, wow, I struggle with the perfectionism. I want everyone to do it perfect. I want to be perfect. I want to say, take that pressure off of yourself. You're not going to be perfect. Now I want us to strive for excellence. I want us to strive to do the right thing, to make the next best choice, the next right choice. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be perfect. We're going to miss some things. And if we just raise our hand and just say, you know what, I'm not perfect. This task I'm going to do, I'm going to strive for excellence. But if it's not just 100% perfect, I'm going to learn from it, and it's going to be okay. And so I just want to say, if you're struggling with this, it's okay. Just try to take the biggest step you can each and every day to lessen the amount of perfectionism you're putting on yourself and on others, and just lower that expectation just a little bit. Kind of in this same mindset of perfectionism, maybe with others, is the third item we may struggle with here in our worrying and our stress is a need for control. This need for control. It's this, if I'm not in control mentality, then it's not going to get done, or I'm not okay. If I'm not in control, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's next. And I just want to say once again, lessen those expectations and try to stay more close to reality. Hey, the thing is we're not always going to be in control, and that's okay. You may be in a position now where you're working for someone. You have to answer, you have to report to someone, and you're not always in control. That's okay. If somebody may come up to you and they may just spill all this negativity around you, they may be critical of you, and you're not in control of the situation, it's okay. And we have to learn how to in a healthy way, talk through, work through, maneuver through that. But at the end of the day, we're not always going to be in control. And if we try to have that mentality where I always have to be in control, it will drive you bonkers. And that's what leads to more stress, more worry, more anxiousness, to try to be more and more and more in control. So just kind of, no offense, but back off a little bit and let life happen a little bit. Let the adventures come into play and just go along with the ride. Life's going to throw us curveballs. And we have to anticipate that. We have to know that. But we know that life's going to throw me a curveball. This task, this relationship that I'm in, it's going to throw me a curveball. And I'm not always going to be in control. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll walk through this, and we'll get a resolution and a way out. The final thing here, and I say the final, but it may be one of the bigger things, is this social comparison. Where we're looking around socially, and we're seeing what others have. And so what happens, we see maybe John over here, he's got this new car, a new house, a new boat, new clothes, new shoes. Maybe it's just a new phone. Maybe it's just a new watch. Maybe it's just a new pen. And we start looking, we start comparing, and if we don't have it, what happens? We think that we have to have this. We don't have the money to get it, so we start stressing out. We start worrying about how can I get it? When can I get it? What can I do to get it? And we start using our thought process in a way that's just not healthy. Comparison is a punk, and it will steal your joy, rob you of your peace. And so, once again, I may have to raise my hand on this and say this is one of my struggles. But when we look at others, It's not a comparison, it's a celebration. If they have something that maybe you don't have but have always wanted, celebrate what they have with them. Don't compare, celebrate. And I think that if we start doing that, it's going to lessen that struggle, the tension in our life. We start celebrating with others, we're going to have more joy. We will have more peace in our life. But remember, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and he uses comparison to do that. Well, we have the four big boxed baggage claim areas here that we might struggle with. We may be bringing in some negative baggage into our thought process. Now that we have these, we know what these are, we have them identified. The next step is, what do we do once we have identified what your struggle is? Maybe yours is this comparison, maybe it's perfectionism, maybe it's just this insecurity. What do we do once we have realized this to make sure that we replace the negative with the positive? And I think it's just an acronym here. EPR. And I think the first thing that we have to do when we're looking at these three things is to first and foremost just be honest with yourself about what you may struggle with. Because once we have that on the table, we know what it is. Now we can start working to make it better. So EPR, the E stands for evaluate. So that's what we looked at. We need to evaluate what my baggage is. What is my junk in the trunk? Let's evaluate this. And then maybe go in just a little bit deeper. Maybe kind of see what is causing you to be insecure. Maybe it's something from your past. Maybe it's something from your childhood. The comparison, the social comparison. What's making you want what these other people have and trying to compare your life with them? I think all too often the comparison is we start having these goals or a game plan for our life, and when we're not hitting them or we don't think we're far enough along, we start seeing these people that are past where we think we should be, and we start comparing, we start getting down, we start worrying and getting stressed out about that. So maybe take you some time to see what you may be struggling with, but then go a little bit deeper into the why. Maybe start asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? What causes me to have this tension? And evaluate it. And then the next thing is gather a game plan. A game plan. Here's an example. We talked about the social comparison. I said, don't compare, but celebrate. So that's part of this plan. You find a way to replace the negative with the positive. So the negative is the comparison. Positive is celebration. So once you have identified what you're struggling with, get a game plan together so that you can replace the negative with the positive. If it's the insecurity, maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't feel good enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough education. Then what I would like for you to do is get you a plan. And what is it that you can replace that negative with something positive? So it may be, okay, I don't have that college degree, but I've read all of these, I've watched all of this, I've went to these seminars, these conferences. I do have the knowledge and the information. Maybe I've been doing this job for 15 years or 20 years. I have the information and the knowledge. I can do this. If it's the perfectionism, get you a game plan and just start. When you find yourself trying to be this perfectionist person, just say, you know what? I need to back off. I need to slow down. I need to just enjoy this adventure, this life, this journey that we are on. And the R, the final thing here, is a remedy. So we have a game plan, but then we need to get a remedy. Okay, what is it that's going to fix this? Because I can sit here and tell you all day long, okay, don't compare, but celebrate. But what's the remedy? Does it mean that you write someone just a card, a congratulation card, or you give them balloons, or you just say, "You're awesome, great job" to their face? What's the remedy? What will make this go away? At the end of the day, if we're just doing outward acts, but we're not working on the inside, we're not working on our heart, we're not working on our thought process, all we're doing is evaluating and getting a game plan. I want us to get a remedy. What is it that you need to do to overcome your negative thoughts? What is it you need to do to overcome the stress, the worry, the anxiousness, the nervousness that you may be experiencing right now in your life? I want us to have a life of significance, not success. We can sit here, you can go to seminars, you can watch videos, you can read books all day for years about how to have success, how to get the money, the quick money. There's all these people out there, how to get 6 figures in 6 months. I don't care about that. I want you to have a life of significance. And for all of us, that significance is different. But I want it to be one that's a legacy, that means something, that when you pass away, when people think of you, they go, wow. They were a kind, compassionate, caring, self-giving person. Because you had the remedy. You had the remedy. And I think part of the remedy is how we view things, the perspective that we have with others and with circumstances. And I think that if we can have this perspective that people are trying to do good and be good, and the circumstance that I'm in, it may not be what I was expecting or I thought, but what can I find, what good can I find out of this circumstance? What good is coming from this? We change our perspective, we change our attitude. If we change our attitude, we change our outlook on life. We change our culture, our personal culture. That's part of this remedy. So I would love for us to take this next month and for you to look at, okay, what's your baggage? And then get you a game plan and a remedy, kind of evaluate all that's going on so that you know what to do to have a life of significance and one that's much, much less stress and worry and anxiety in your life. As always, guys, once again, I say thank you for watching these. If these add value to you, please pass them along to others. Please tell them to subscribe to get these so I can put them on the mail list. And as always, as I mentioned before, you can go to my website, ericjchristian.com, for more information, more videos, more just stuff about how I can help you in your business or even your relationships. You can go to my Twitter or Instagram, coach_EJC. And until next month, hope you have a great day.